everybody, it's your girl, Amanda Sweet.
Hey guys, it's Mariah Sierra.
And we are on the review, episode 2. This is exciting. The first one was like really an experiment.
Yes.
We were just like, can we do it?
And then we did it.
And now we're doing it again.
Yeah,
so
here again.
we gotta try, once we're done with this one, we'll figure out if we can edit it or not. We'll see, who knows, and then
and then we might do a third.
Yeah, so we're just taking the next step in the process. We haven't really come up with a plan.
We're just kind of doing our thing.
I like it.
We're just riding that wave.
Yeah, like, oh, you have a free 30 minutes? Come over. Let's record. But, so yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So, Mariah, tell me, where are you currently pulling your inspiration to restyle your life?
Yeah, so I feel like this past week I felt very inspired by Time to Get Real podcast. So that's our girls Sarah and Aileen. We love them so much. They're team members of the ReVamp, and they recently did a mental health series, and I think it was 3 episodes. It was just really good. Coming from a person who struggled with their mental health my whole life, I've struggled with depression and anxiety. It's just so great to listen to people talk about it and talk about their struggles with it. And I find that very inspiring. Of course knowing you're not alone, but hearing the tips and the tricks that they use to help reshape the way they think and stuff like that. So I've been pulling a lot of inspiration from you guys.
I was listening to them today. I have been so behind, but I went 2 episodes deep today, and I'm like working, because I work remote, so I'm like just giggling the whole time, and I felt like I was like not alone, like I was like working by myself, but I feel like they were like just sitting there.
I've been listening to it at work too.
So shout out to Time to Get Real podcast.
Yeah, y'all are awesome.
So fun. So fun. I'm actually gonna go see them tonight.
Yeah, you are.
It's their 1-month anniversary today. Woo! I mean, when we post this, it won't be, but
yeah.
Woo! So that's so awesome.
Yeah, but so where are you pulling inspiration from to restyle your life right now?
Man, I kind of am stealing your thing from last week, or the last couple weeks, but seriously, the people in Denton are kicking ass right now. Like, I can't even tell you, like, everybody's launching something new.
Yeah,
everybody's starting something new. Everybody is putting themselves out there. Like, I'm getting events back to back to back. Like, people are like, I want to start this project. I have this idea. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm just, like, feeling the energy. And it's so nice to just be surrounded by people that are like, let's work. Let's do something. Let's work. And I feel very proud that a lot of our team members have been coming to us and saying, like, the ReVamp was one of the reasons why I felt confident enough to do this X, Y, and Z. And it touches
it's so
me.
Sweet.
It touches me because it's like, I was scared to do the ReVamp too. And it was just an idea that I had out of the blue. This video series was just an idea that we had out of the blue, and we mustered up the courage to just press record, or just to pick a day on the calendar and just do an event. And so it's just so awesome to see all of these kick-ass people, and lots of ladies, must I say, in Denton. Like, the ladies scene, I mean, I mostly hang out with women or people who identify as women, but like, the ladies in Denton are crushing it. So
we hustle hard.
I am just so proud of everybody, and even the ladies in Detroit, like all my girls out there. I know a lot of you are just doing amazing work, and I'm constantly getting DMs from people saying, like, thank you so much for just doing what you do. And it's just like, I'm just like, thanks. Because yesterday, I didn't feel like doing shit, and I just chopped my hair off because I was going through a Britney Spears moment. And, so the days that I'm, like, feeling like absolute crap, like, my girls are just immediately, they can sense it, they text me, and they're like, are you good? What do you need? And I'm just like, thank you, universe, aka my girls. So yeah, I'm pulling my inspiration from all of the amazing people in Denton and Detroit that are absolutely crushing it, because y'all are doing the thing. For real. For real. Okay, Mariah, how are you remixing your everyday
life.
Life? Oh, we did. We have notes, but it's like written on the back of a notebook, and
It's great. It's great.
It's like such chicken scratch. I'm just like, what does it say?
I am remixing my everyday life. I'm gonna pull from where I'm getting my inspiration from. Just like listening to other people and their stories and how they get through things. I'm really trying to apply that to my own life. Because I struggle sometimes, and it's hard to pull yourself out of that rut, and it just is great just to be able to pull that inspiration from what other people have gone through, and to see the things that they've done, and to see that they saw the light at the end of the tunnel and they made it, and there was something amazing waiting for them. So I really just try to like pull that inspiration and change the way I think, and remind myself that even when I feel like crap, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's always been okay. I've never really not been okay. Everything always works out the way it's supposed to. So yeah, just really like reshaping the way that I think, and just have a good outlook.
I love it. I'm struggling to think about how I'm really remixing right now. I feel like I'm nesting a little bit. Like, I feel like there was a period like in January where I was like really focused on like making big changes. Like, okay, what are my New Year's resolutions? Let me do my vision board. Let me do all this stuff. Let me like read up on X, Y, and Z. I just finished The Magic of Thinking Big. But I think right now I'm just kind of trying to like simmer down and just kind of like get shit done. Because I feel like sometimes I overstimulate myself with like inspiration and motivation and scrolling through the internet and like all of the things. Like I'm like overly stimulated, and then I feel sometimes like a blank slate. So lately, these last couple days, couple weeks, I've just kind of been like doing the work, like just getting my hands dirty and just like getting into it and just shutting down, going to bed at a normal time. So like taking all the inspirations in and then taking it with a grain of salt and figuring out where my life and my choices and my likes and dislikes play into all of this stuff that I've absorbed for the last several weeks and years and lifetime, So sometimes I get lost in the sauce, and I'm like, I just need to constantly be consuming good content. Like, I need to be constantly learning and growing and learning and growing. But like,
tiring.
But it's tiring sometimes. So like, just allowing yourself to figure it out on your own without any outside voices. So I think that's kind of where I'm at this week with as far as remixing my life, and I think I just need to hunker down and get some shit done. Like I have a million projects that I'm like starting on or working on or like halfway through.
So it's easy to start something. You
Oh
just
my
gotta
gosh.
like follow through, which is the
I am
hardest
the
part.
queen of starting shit, but not the queen of finishing shit. So that's where I'm at. I'm just trying to like finish things and focus on the next reasonable thing to do on the list. So that's where I'm at.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Just like
Cheers
this
to
video.
that.
The next reasonable thing to do is record the video. So that's what we're doing.
Here we are.
All right. How are you going to re-up us on your professional advice? I had to take it slow.
We got there.
Yeah.
Great. This week, I really want to talk about LinkedIn. I feel like this is a platform that's very underrated, especially among us millennials.
Mm-hmm.
If you went to college, you probably heard a professor or two be like, you need this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a professor that did a whole class about like resume building and LinkedIn, and she made us do it for a grade, and we had to like fully optimize it and blah blah blah. Well, it actually works, guys, because I ended up getting one of my favorite jobs that I've ever worked. They reached out to me on LinkedIn. Like, I didn't apply to this job or anything. So it was for a coach.
Ooh.
So I was a sales associate there, and it was just an invaluable experience to my career path or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was all because my LinkedIn profile was fully optimized. I had a really good headshot. I had, an interesting headliner. My bio was very descriptive and fun to read.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had, connections. I had skills. I listed my previous work experience with, details about what you did. And a tip with like when you're writing details and stuff, it's really helpful if you include like numbers or things that you've done. Like, for example, I worked a lot in sales, so when I was a manager at Zoomies, I wrote somewhere on my LinkedIn profile about how I maximize sales by, X number. Yeah, so if you can tie anything into like a number, how you did something great for the company you worked for, that's very, very beneficial. Employers want to see, how you're going to come in and shake things up for them.
Right.
So that's really helpful, and also having recommendations. So you can literally reach out to us. If you know us like that, we'll write you recommendations. She wrote me a really good one. I need to write
That's
one
like
now.
my favorite thing to do is like compliment people.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a gusher. Like, ask me and I'll write a review about you.
Seriously, it's so important because someone could be scrolling through, they find your profile, and then they read an awesome recommendation from Amanda from a previous employer, and that just speaks volumes to them, knowing, okay, this person, like, that's your reference. You don't even need to write a reference down because they've already seen it.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so it's just super important to have that fully optimized, whether you're looking for a job or not. And they reached out to me. I was not looking for a job, but it was a better opportunity than where I was. And so I knew if I wanted to move forward and step up in my career that I needed to, go with it.
Yeah.
And I ended up working there. I loved it. So you never know what will come from a really good looking LinkedIn profile.
Seriously, I have to bounce off of you. Like, LinkedIn is my professional life. Like, that is, as someone who is also in the events business sector, like, that is where I do all of my networking and I'm working for a Michigan company and I'm living in Texas, but I am building my network in Michigan so vastly, so easily, because most people don't use LinkedIn. So the market is waiting for people like us who already make good content, like you who already make good content, to just put it there. So like as an avid LinkedIn user, I highly suggest not only like receiving good recommendations, but leaving them, because as someone who's on people's pages all the time, I am looking at recommendations and then also like looking at who left that recommendation, because maybe that person that left the recommendation is better than the person who got the recommendation, so it's like it's another SEO thing. Like, your name is on somebody else's page, okay, there's another connection there. And then just like building the social media platform, it's just like Facebook, it's just like Instagram. It does text, it does video, it does picture, it connects people. You can celebrate, which I love. You can do like a great idea instead of, they have like the thumbs up, thumbs down. They have like great idea, like a little,
they make it business interactive.
It's more business friendly, but like all you gotta do is take all the cuss words out of your regular posts and then you can put it on LinkedIn. Done. It's done. So like we just started our ReVamp LinkedIn, and so for me as the lead on this team, it's really important for me. And once Mariah set it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should have did this a long time ago. But for me, I'm giving my team members, who are mostly volunteer, the opportunity for more leverage on our nonprofit organization by putting it on LinkedIn and having an Avid account. So those of you who have organizations and you're looking for volunteers or interns, using LinkedIn as a platform for your organization, but also as an opportunity for your volunteers to get recommendations and to put their volunteer hours through a credited LinkedIn account, which is just a profile, okay? It's huge, because like if an employer goes and looks and they see the ReVamp on there and they can click it and they can see that it's an actual organization instead of it just being like a text with no image and then there's no page there, the employer is going to look at it different and with bias, not on purpose. It's subconscious, so like, to all you people that are starting organizations and groups out there that have volunteers, that's a big thing that you can give them that's free for you, but is going to pay off for them. So that's a good gift that you can give. So I appreciate you for setting up the account and taking the initiative, because I was like, hello, we should have had this shit done forever ago. But we did it. We learned, but so that's my tip to you, is to like make your LinkedIn account, take your organization, put your company on there. You got the content already.
You're posting it everywhere.
You're posting it
yeah.
anyway, like just copy and paste. It's really not that hard, and sometimes I do kind of change up like the content a little bit to be more focused on like data or numbers or sales, even though we're not like super data driven, but I'll say things like we have 25 volunteers and we've donated over 150 bags in the last year. Like I'll say things like that where it's not necessarily appropriate on Instagram or Facebook, but it's something that we're still proud of and that we have numbers for. So it's like, it's really good building for the organization, it's good building for the volunteers, it's good building for your personal business, and it's good for the community so they can see you're well-rounded.
Yeah.
So I love LinkedIn.
Yes, take advantage of a free platform. It's totally free, so take advantage of it. I know you're on your phone anyway. Download the app.
Oh, real.
It's super easy, and I really think that it has a lot of benefit, especially as a young entrepreneur. And I know a lot of you watching this are young entrepreneurs, and you have a business already, just all these things, like just take advantage of it.
It's so simple. And I think another one that we could probably push a little bit too is your Google business.
Oh, I could talk about Google My Business all day. This has to be another video.
Yeah. So we'll do a part 2, but like part 1, LinkedIn. And Facebook, like your Facebook, this is just like if you're already doing a business and you're already starting an organization and you already have an Instagram account, because everybody makes an Instagram account first and then they don't do anything else, like finish your pages because it's going to give your organizations more credibility, and then your volunteers or your employees can utilize that as leverage for themselves too, so you're benefiting yourself, your company, and your people. Like win-win-win.
Yeah, well, and even if like you're discouraged from making all these accounts because you're like, oh, I'm not going to have the time to manage all these accounts, make them anyway. Build them out, optimize them, make sure they look great. You don't have to post regularly on the ones that, like Pinterest, for example, but having that link. Yeah, I know, but it's important for some people. We don't use it really.
We could.
But if anyone wants to do our
Danica
Pinterest.
started the mood boards for the
that would be good for Pinterest,
on it.
But it's just helpful having that link. It helps your overall SEO. It gets your name out there more. You just makes yourself more credible.
Right.
So even if you're like, oh, I don't have time to manage that, just optimize it, make it look good, so when someone comes across it, they're like, wow, this looks really nice.
And it looks legit.
It's legit, yeah.
Right. That's like the thing. Like,
so don't
it
let
looks
that deter you.
I know, and like it's so silly how quickly. So I'm constantly researching companies and businesses and individuals through my work, and it's crazy how quick I will like nick somebody from the running if their Facebook isn't up to date or if their website is out of date, or and it's so silly, and I try not to do it, but it just happens. Like if I'm like, okay, on their website and it hasn't been updated since 2007, it doesn't matter that your menu hasn't changed, but you haven't updated since 2007. Are you still even around? Do you even exist? So
it's important to constantly update your stuff too.
And you're making the content anyway, so you might as well do it. So that's my rant on LinkedIn. We should just do a LinkedIn demo. I'm ready to do it today.
And then we'll do a GMB one next. So Google My Business. So I do a lot of that at my job.
Google My Business. Yes, Google My Business. That was real easy.
Yeah.
We